And that statement detailing some of the key focus areas for the ANC for 2023. President Cyril Ramaphosa's address looked into various issues, including unity or a lack thereof, load shedding and racism in the country. The party marking 111 years of existence yesterday. To unpack this further, we're joined by political analyst Thembisa Fakude, joins us via our video link this morning. Thembisa, great to have you with us on the program with a lovely sunny background there behind you. Was there anything that sort of had you hanging on to the president's words in that address yesterday?
Well, I think there's a lot of, it's a very ambitious statement, notwithstanding that the president has got a full bag of things to do for 2023. 2024 is around the corner, and that's when South Africa will be going to the national elections. The president has to deal with the issues of energy, ESCOM, and the president has also have to deal with running the country. But most importantly, this just energy transition, I think, is also going to occupy most of the time of the president. So the ANC business, as far as I am concerned, is not as important as trying to achieve certain objectives for the benefit of the South Africans, who are actually very impatient at the moment, particularly when it comes to matters of load shedding. So it was a statement that he had to make because it was the birthday of the ANC, but I think he needs to prioritize South Africans over the ANC. Yeah,
party over state, right? That's a discussion we've had several times. We've just come out of the ANC's elective conference at Newzroom as well at the end of last year. Did you get that sense that it was a case of prioritizing the country's challenges over issues like renewal and unity within the governing party?
No, I didn't get that. I mean, they were all presented in the same breath at the same time. And I think issues such as the renewal of the ANC, I mean, that are not necessarily important issue for the larger part of South Africa. Yeah. Most of us are not really interested in renewal of the ANC, or the general populace of South Africa is not interested in the impossible mission of renewing the ANC, but they're interested in seeing the challenges of load shedding eliminated. They're interested in seeing jobs being created and other things that are urgent at the moment. But I don't think the resuscitation of a collapsing ANC is that of an agency for a normal South African.
Do you think that Ramaphosa, just on the face of it, him giving that address yesterday, looked sort of invigorated coming out of the elective conference in December?
I think he's invigorated, and I think he had to say things that he had to say because it's part of the statement, it was part of the birthday. But I think President Cyril Ramaphosa understands his agency, understands the most urgent matters that he needs to address in South Africa, and one of those is ESCOM. The other one is to resuscitate our economy and encourage economic growth, and at the same time, youth unemployment. So he knows all of those things, and I think he's going to prioritize. But the statement yesterday had to be said because it was an occasion of the ANC. But I think henceforth, he's not going to be concentrating all his efforts in trying to resuscitate or revive the ANC and all the beautiful things that were said in that statement, which I think are impossible because he's got a very limited tenure. It's the last 5 years, and for the presidency, he might not even finish his tenure as a president because the next conference of the ANC will come right in the middle of his tenure as the president of the country. So he's got a lot to do. And I think it's going to be hands on deck henceforth, and it's going to tackle all the national issues that we all talk about.
Shall we take a look at the president's sort of Renew 22 slate? Those people including Gwera Mantashe, Fikile Mbalula, Gwen Ramakgopa, Maropeni Ramakgopa as well, winning those various positions at the elective conference last year. I mean, is it a sense that you're getting that the president is doing what he set out to do? And at the beginning of our conversation, you talked about the road to 2024, which is also considered to be sort of a turning point in the African National Congress and the national elections in our country. Just questions around whether it will indeed slip below that 51% mark.
I think they will try. Cyril Ramaphosa as a brand is, we all know now, that is much more stronger than the brand ANC, even though, of course, many ANC people will argue and disagree with me in that regard. But brand Cyril Ramaphosa is much more stronger than brand ANC. So going into the elections, you are likely to have the ANC. I know a lot of people are saying it's going to dip below 50%. I'm of the view that it's going to maintain 50% as long as President Cyril Ramaphosa is at the helm, because he is a trusted leader, not only by the ANC members, but by a larger part of South Africa. And that's why we see whenever his tenure or his presidency is threatened, the rand dips because people do trust Cyril Ramaphosa. So I think the ANC understood that at the conference, that they need Cyril Ramaphosa. It would have been a different case if Zweli Mkhize had taken over, given that there are certain people who are at the moment not necessarily liked by the general South African populace who would have been with him in his cabinet. But Cyril Ramaphosa is quite a trusted figure, and one hopes that he's going to move the country forward. And importantly, though, he's going to see the agency of moving the country forward, because all along we've seen the president that has been dragging his feet, at least as far as where some of us are sitting, hence the name Ramaphosa, the nickname that he got, because people felt that he's not moving as fast or as swift as expected.
Yeah, or being as decisive as he needs to be. Perhaps with the stronger position coming out of the elective conference, we'll see more decisive action.
Hopefully we'll see more decisive action. I think he understands it, and I think this the conference gave him that confidence. The mandate was very clear. He's the man who's going to go in and begin to fight corruption. He has said so repeatedly. But importantly, the South Africans want to see the new cabinet fit for purpose. The South African populace want to see people who are going to deliver basic services to them. And they are not looking at the same old slow lack of delivery governance that we've seen in the past. So hopefully the president, first thing that he will do after the State of the Nation address will be to reshuffle his cabinet, put people that are fit for purpose, preferably young, fresh people that are fit for purpose. People such as Pat Stau are there, people such as David Makura are there, and Sputla Ramakgopa are there. These are all capable individuals, young, and who have proved to be very effective in their own right in terms of governance. So we hope that the president will do that.
Thembisa Fakude, as always, a pleasure talking to you, political analyst. Thanks very much indeed for joining us as we continue to unpack the ANC's January 8th statement.